This is a review of the Vacucraft 3-piece rectangular vacuum food container set. Inside the box, you'll find a large and a small container, 2 lids that fit them, and the Vacucraft pump. On the bottom of the lid, you'll see an excellent silicone type seal, which will help you create a nice vacuum. Here you have a valve, which allows you to put the vacuum pump on top, and you can pump and create a vacuum inside of the container to preserve your food. Here you have a little indicator that when it sucks down and goes flat, you'll know that you have the proper vacuum inside. And this here is a unique thing that you can spin around and set it on the date that you put the food in the refrigerator so you know how old the food is. On the sides of the lid, you'll see these little latches. What you want to do is you want to put the lid into place, make sure it's square, and snap the little latches in place. Then you can put the pump on top, as you can see here. And you can see as I pump, you can see the valve go down. There's now a nice vacuum inside of here which helps preserve your food. It removes moisture and it removes oxygen, which causes oxidation of the food. How good's the vacuum? Well, I'm going to release the latches, and you can't get it open. It's that sealed because the air on the outside is pressing down at the atmospheric pressure, and so it's not going to go anyplace. You want to take this little valve here in the middle and lift it up, and you heard it suck. It pulled air back inside, and now you can get your food out. This base part is microwavable to cook your food in, but you shouldn't microwave this lid. The main purpose of these containers is to extend the shelf life of your food, seal in the flavors and freshness, and prevent damage to the food just from being stored. On these smaller size containers, you should pull the pump about somewhere between 3 and 5 times. You'll see the valve go down and see that the vacuum is in place, and that's about right. On the small containers, you shouldn't go more than 5 pumps. It may take 5 or 6 or 7 on these larger sizes. It also depends on how much food you have inside the container. The material this is made of is BPA free. It's also dishwasher safe and odor and stain resistant. The nice thing about this is you get a great seal on this product. It's much better than the other products like Tupperware, which we've used for years. And you're also saving money because you're using this instead of using plastic wrap, instead of using aluminum foil and those kind of things, which eventually wind up in the dump anyway. My wife is very big on recycling, and the nice thing about this is you're going to reduce waste of the materials like the plastic and aluminum that you use, but on top of that you're going to reduce the waste of thrown away spoiled food. How big is the waste of food? In America, it's a terrible problem. 25% all the food grown and produced in the U.S., 25% of it is lost before it's even getting to the store. On top of that, studies show that 40% of the food that's taken home is not stored properly and winds up being thrown away. That's 40%. What does that mean? It means an average family of 4 could probably save $2,300 a year in storing their food properly and prolonging its life. My wife and I just love to have fresh fruit. We buy it every time we go to the store. We buy bananas, we buy apples, we buy pineapple, we buy grapes, peaches, and pears. You know what? Half the stuff we buy, by the time we get to it, is bruised, brown, rotten, or moldy. You can see inside of here my wife has prepared some grapes, for example, which is one of the fresh fruits we buy all the time. We've got them in here, it's chilled, but I haven't put the vacuum on it yet. So it's full of grapes. I'm now going to check the latches, they're down tight. I'm now going to put the pump down and give it about 5 or 6 pumps. And you can see it's down. And now there's a nice solid vacuum inside of here. And this will preserve the life of the grapes by a substantial difference. Here's a table from the side of the box. And here you can see the difference from using ordinary containers to using Vacucraft. You can extend the life of your food anywhere between 2 to 10 times its life by simply using the right container in the vacuum. You can also use these containers to store food that you haven't cooked yet, like pasta or nuts. Nuts, for example, when they're opened up, when you buy them, they're vacuum packed. That keeps them fresh. You open them up, you break the seal. They're only fresh for between 3 to 5 days. Put them in this container and pull in a vacuum. Those same nuts will be safe and secure and fresh for 25 to 30 days. You can also put in uncooked pasta, rice, and tea. In those cases, you're extending the life of those products from 120 to 180 days, all the way out to over 1 year. These enclosures are also great for processing and marinating meats. You put your meat in there with your marinating sauce, you pull a vacuum, and what happens is you pull the air out of the meat, and the marination sauces have time to get into the meat, and when you release the pressure, it sucks it into the meat, and it adds richness and flavor to your meal. Have you ever got up in the morning and made some fresh biscuits and had a few too many? You try to save them, you wrap them up in aluminum foil, come back that evening and think, oh, I'll just have a biscuit. Well, by the time you get through it, within one day, for example, it's already getting stale and getting dry. You put it in here, it preserves the freshness. Keep it fresh for a difference of 2 to 3 days, up to 23 to 25 days. Important is this, up to 19% of the things that are dumped into the local dump are food. 19%. What happens to it? It's buried in the ground, produces methane gas, and it destroys our ecology. This will help you save that food longer and be able to enjoy it. My wife and I live by ourselves now, and I have to tell you, it's tough to cook for 2 people. Most things you buy or cook, you wind up cooking enough for 2 meals. This is a great way to save leftovers and have them the next day, and they're going to taste just as good as they did the day you made them. I'm not going to release the vacuum on this again. You can see it's sucked down. It's got a perfect vacuum inside. I want you to hear how much air gets sucked into this. It's amazing. You heard the amount of air. This is so much more effective and reliable than Tupperware lids, for example. I really like this product. It serves a great purpose. It saves you money. It looks good. I like how you can see through the lid and see what's inside and see how fresh it is. I like how you can control the vacuum inside. I rate this product at 5 stars. This review was done by JJ CEO. I'd like you to know I was supplied a sample for test and evaluation.